Today you will learn how to solve a quadratic equation using graphing, factorization, the quadratic formula, and completing the square. So first, what is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation contains at least one term that is squared. The standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. In this, the a, b, and c are constants for numerical coefficients, whereas x is an unknown variable. As I mentioned before, there are different ways to solve a quadratic equation, so we're going to start off with graphing. We will begin by graphing the parabola using a table of values. From there, we can find the roots of the quadratic equation by seeing where the x-intercepts are on the graph. So we're going to start off with the example of x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So we're going to start by looking at a table of values. I just made a very generic table. So these are going to be my x values across the top. And down here I'm looking for x squared and then the minus 3x and then putting that all together with the minus 10. This will give you the y value. So together we will be able to find the x and the y. So starting off with x squared, if our x is negative 5, our x squared would be 25. Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 1 squared is just 1. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And 5 squared is 25. I just chose from negative 5 to 5. For my x values, you can choose different ones, but I usually start up with 0 and span out. So now you're taking your x and timesing it by a negative 3. So negative 5 times negative 3 would give you a positive 15. Likewise, negative 4 times negative 3 would give you a positive 12. And I'm just going to finish putting the rest of the values in. So this will be 9, 6, 3, 0, negative 3, negative 6, negative 9, negative 12, and a negative 15. So now we see our y is equal to the x squared minus 3x minus 10. Well, here we have our x squared or minus 3x. So you're just going to combine these two numbers and then subtract 10. So 25 plus 15 is equal to 40. 40 minus 10 is 30. 16 plus 12 is 28. 28 minus 10 is 18. Nine plus 9 is 18. 18 minus 10 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 minus 10 is a negative 6. 0 plus 0 equals 0. 0 minus 10 equals minus 10. 1 minus 3 is equal to a negative 2. Negative 2 minus 10 is equal to a negative 12. And I'm just going to finish the rest of this row as well. So this whole row is equal to our y value. And this whole row is equal to our x value. So now we can combine them to get a coordinate. So at first you would have negative 530 The second one would be your negative 418. And you're just going to keep filling out this row. So negative 3, 8. And these are the points that we will now plot in order to make our parabola. Negative 1, negative 6. This one's 0, negative 10. One, negative 12. 2, negative 12. 3, negative 10. 4, negative 6. And 5, 0. With these coordinates that we just found, we're going to plot them. So we can actually start out, we found 0, negative 10. So let's plot that first. So you go over 0 and down negative 10. So that's going to be way down here. It's actually off of our graph. From there, we also found a negative 2, 0, and a 5, 0. So we're going to plot the negative 2, 0, and the 5, 0. You can actually see the beginning of a parabola that's going to be forming. We also saw 1, negative 12. So that's once again way down here. And then you're going to be going over 3, negative 10, 3 down to negative 10. We have 4, negative 6. We also had negative 1, negative 6. Negative 1, negative 6. So from here we see where the parabola is going to be. So it's going to swoop down this way and continue down, 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 down below our graph and back up. The areas where it crosses the x-axis, which is right here, we have our x-axis, which goes side to side horizontally, and we have our y-axis, which goes up and down vertically. We're going to look at the x-axis and see where it crosses. So we see it crosses here and it crosses here. So this is the points -2, 0, and 5, 0. Because we found the x-axis intercepts of 5, 0 and -2, 0, we know that x equals -2 and x equals 5. So our original example, going back to x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0, using the method of graphing, we know that x is equal to -2 or x equals 5, since those are the areas where they cross the x-axis. This is easy to double check because if we have x equal to -2, if we plug that back in for x, it should equal 0. So -2 squared is 4. -3 times the -2 is a +6. 4 plus 6 equals 10, and 10 minus 10 would equal 0. So that's accurate. Also, we can check the x equals 5. 5 squared is 25, minus a 3 times 5 would be 15, so 25 minus 15 is 10. 10 minus 10 equals 0. So it's easy to go in, just plug it in, and do a little mental check. You can write it down if you need to, but they should always come out. If the answer does not equal 0, based off of the standard form, then you made a mistake somewhere along the line.